Saturday Live Lounge, supported by Villa Gaiety. Keep up to date with the island's premier entertainment venue by following us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
We haven't played Michael Cooish for too long. That is Black Man in a White World. And before that was new music from Dumb Boys Fishing Club. Boy as in, you know, the ones that float around on the sea. And that was Fortune Teller. We are going to be hearing now, or shortly actually, from Ruth Keggin, otherwise known as Ruth Keggin Gale, the Granada, the Manx Language Development Officer. She has an album that we talked to her and Rachel Hare, harpist, about last year. They have been touring it all over the place. And so I thought I'd catch up with them and see where they'd been, how they've been getting on, how they've been received. But before we hear from Ruth all about that and hear some music from her and Rachel together, I thought we'd remind ourselves of some of Ruth's fabulous solo music. So this from her solo album, Sheer, is Fin as Ocean.
Hi, Fin as Ocean, machte Jaag. Follow, follow. Lieshejak trainers modiak. Follow. Na feeden gosh high mach follow, follow. Tushlo as konta yinu krach follow, la la la. Koi deke deke tayo hori beg follow, la la la. Dutni in ocean cabbage, follow, follow. Yes, wat de ging John gesachle follow, la la la. As for my jog as a has how you fell la 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 la. Custavia Gordias, follow, follow. Tredenis mora, yes, yes, follow, la 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 la. Lumala Mina, I destroy, follow, la 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 la. Sagak Brider, Rienes, follow, follow. Should he isn't dying, miss follow, la 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 la. Moon Spain a time of being a gay back, moo a sellers follow, la 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 la. Ish Billy Finnegal, Cora Tron, follow, follow. Have a bag of china, tots and a low, follow, la 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 la. Ba orange gabber and it gets best, follow, la 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 la.
So we quite often speak with Ruth Keggin Gale about her work as the Granada, the Manx Language Development Officer with Cooish Manx. But I love talking to you, Ruth Keggin, that's your show name, about your music. You're a fabulous musician, but you've got your new album out with Rachel Hare, harpist, and you've been pretty much all over the world and continuing to go around the world with it, which is very exciting. What's coming up for you?
Thank you. Well, it's been really great this year. So when I'm not working with Cooish Manx, I love performing with Rachel. And we've been in Brittany and Scotland this year, and we've been in Normandy as well, performing on a tidal island, which is very exciting. But we're going off to Canada soon. So we're going off to this international festival called Celtic Colours, which is really exciting. And that's in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. And it's somewhere where Rachel and I have both really wanted to perform for a very long time. It's an internationally renowned Celtic festival, and they always get really fantastic programme of artists over. So we're really excited to be brought over to play at the festival. And excitingly, this year for the festival, they have a real theme and focus on languages. So the festival director, Dawn Beaton, was saying, it's really important, I'm just paraphrasing her here, but really important to recognise and love and nurture the languages, otherwise we're going to lose them. So we've got to really, love our languages around the world. And so we're actually performing in the opening concert of Celtic Colours, which is on Friday the 6th of October, and that has a big theme on language. So it's celebrating the United Nations declaration that 2022 to 2032 is the decade of Indigenous languages. And in that concert you'll find performances from Blazing Fiddles from Scotland, very well renowned, Le Vent du Nord, which are a Canadian band who sing in French, and then you've got Mi'kmaq as well, which is an Indigenous language to that region of Canada from First Nation peoples. And you'll also hear Welsh and Manx Gaelic and Irish and Scottish Gaelic in there. So it's a real celebration of languages. As well as that particular performance, we'll be also performing on the 7th and the 8th before flying back on the 9th. So it's a real short trip over, really. Get off the plane and perform.
It's a long way to go with the harp, isn't it?
It is. And I'm very lucky because, obviously Rachel has her harp, which is a big old piece of kit. And she's always kind of, hopes it gets to the other side okay. But I am more lucky with obviously having a voice. But I do have to be careful on the run up to it, of course, as well. Keep away from anyone with colds.
Oh, yeah, bless you. I'm fascinated by this, especially the fact the whole thing is at a language festival, because music is one of those things that just shows you can use music to speak with people, communicate with people, even when you don't actually understand what they're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. So the theme of Celtic Colours as this amazing Celtic music festival is just saying, well, yeah, languages around the world are really important, but music is a universal language as well that brings us all together. So that is really their kind of point is through performing, the amount of people who come up to me and say, I don't really know what you were singing because I didn't understand the words themselves, but I got the sense of what you were singing from the way you communicated it, or they become interested in the language that you're singing. It's a great way in for people to find out about languages as well and to have an emotional response to them. So that's a really good way of spreading the word about languages as well through song.
Mm-hmm. And the sort of lilt and rhythm of different languages is almost its own music in its own right, isn't it?
It absolutely is, yeah. So you've got different kind of patterns in speech and things like that. So they've got their own, even if just speaking the language, you've got different kind of ways and emphases and different parts of words and things that mean that all languages sound different.
The host Marianne Veen, Fabambek Maki, Taum of Oga, Taum Maiden, be the host, Fabangau, the Shen She.
will you be performing for them at this fantastic festival then?
Well, we'll be performing music from our album Lovin'. So we've got some gigs of our own where we're performing, say, for an hour or whatever, but the opening concert will be a shorter thing, so I don't know quite what we're going to sing yet and play. Something hopefully that'll showcase the variety in the amount of different type of music that we can play, so slower songs, faster songs, things like that. We're staying at the Gaelic College in Cape Breton, and that is where all the artists are going to be staying, and they really encourage quite a lot of collaboration as well behind the scenes. So, you know, there's a whole room where people can get together and play music and swap things and swap ideas and share things. So I hope that we'll get the chance to be able to maybe collaborate with some of the musicians. I would really like to do some collaborative work with Vree, who are from Wales, and they're an amazing trio and lots of strings. So there's 2 fiddle players and a cellist, but they all sing as well in close harmony. And I'd love to do some music with them. They probably won't be listening, but if you are, boys, I want to do some music with you.
There you go, that's an offer. And when can we expect, I know you've not long performed over here on the island anyway, but when can we expect to have you back here performing?
I'm not actually sure, to be honest. That's the honest answer. Because Rachel lives in Glasgow, it is a bit more tricky to say exactly when we'll be performing here. But hopefully before too long. So we were at Cooish as well and had a great gig up in Lozère in the arts centre there in the church. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back performing here before too long.
Obviously, while you're here, what we need to do is have you introduce some of your music. So if you were to pick a particular tune from the album, what would you want to hear now?
Ooh, well, in the mood I'm in at the moment, I want something a little bit quick. There's quite a lot of nice slow things on the album as well, but I'm going to choose Eubonia Sailseach. And Eubonia Sailseach means shining Isle of Man. So Eubonia is a very old word for the Isle of Man. And this is a set of 2 drinking songs, and the words were collected, they're very old, words were collected without melodies, and they now have new contemporary melodies written for them by Annie Kissack. I love the drive of both of the melodies, and this particular set has more instruments on it than anything else on the album. It's got Adam Rhodes on bouzouki, it's got Adam Brown on the bodhrán, and it's got Isla Callister on the fiddle. So hope you enjoy it, and Rachel and I, of course, on harp and voice respectively.
Jeek Can chrín tar éile níos an sailse dáta gennal sai. Tan bille fína smónach trú mar seo ta jéan cunda smú. Molly di merams vanani en ljunvaileja has a vrij. Dak sien as dakrel ton de cholle soler sprinjon de bechestegel akka kol de newtje shogalish en se en nur as me get en lush veche hasalches tashenish. Molly di merams vanani en ljunvaileja has a vrij. Dak sien as dakrel ton de cholle soler sprinjon. Hesje gauw en glesje goed, krenachtiens, dat strunna ruud. Martin voldoeide koel en naal, maar schente sjaalje schazren gaal. Malledje merens van en nie, en ljunvaileje as a vrij. Dag zien as dakraton, de golle soler springen jon. Pesje shot at dinner in die jela. Malledje merens van en nie, en ljunvaileje as a vrij. Dag stien as dakreel ton, de golle soler springen jon. O boyachen, de koortje geel, de edne, de niefeliel. Duches a dug dunne chevai, na shot a shesh, de gesne sway. Malledje merens van en nie, en ljunvaileje as a vrij. Dag stien as dakreel ton, de golle soler springen jon. veg mai as esrún sanai. Then look at the chin you can rhyme in a strun and as tally foot nahi, as tally foot nahi, as tally foot nahi.
Learn things when I speak to Ruth Keggin. Who knew that Eubonia was an old word for the Isle of Man, hey? So that was Eubonia Soljac, as requested by Ruth herself from her album it's a fabulous album, well worth checking out, a duet, collaborative album, I suppose, with Rachel Hare, the harpist. So Lothan, it's called. It's spelled Lossan. Highly recommend it. And now for some... Oh, yes, and by the way, we'll have more folk in the next hour. I did say I'm going to name this show. I'm going to label it For Folk's Sake, because we're all about the folk today. So in the next hour, we're going to be hearing from the Scran album, brand new album from the excellent new young musicians of Scran. And if you do like your folk, don't miss John Barker's folk show every Tuesday evening here on Manx Radio at 9 p.m. And you can catch up as a podcast afterwards as well. It's excellent. Okay, something completely different now. Would you like some English drum and bass from Piri and Tommy? All right, here you go. I think that's really special. So Cooish, an emergency contact. You can find Cooish online. They're on TikTok mostly, but also Instagram. And they've just been out on their first ever tour, I think it is, from what I can gather from their Instagram page, and going down extremely well. Understandably so, with tunes like that. Speaking of good tunes, got my Manx on now. I'm now going to play you two songs back to back, but with a bit of chat sandwiched in the middle. So there's a new album out by the super talented young musicians of Scran, and Scran has sort of come out of originally Brie, which is the very young musicians that are taught by the likes of David Kilgallen and Paul Rogers. David, of course, from McClear and Winterfest and Kinkeorley and Chronicles, etc. Paul Rogers is from Mabon and Strengen and Fecktones. And yes, Scran is an offshoot of Culture Vannin's youth movement, Brie. The Scran members are aged between 12 and 18. They play harps, fiddles, mandolins, whistles, accordion, and there's sort of an ever-changing group of musicians because, of course, as soon as they get too old, they're chucked out. So new ones come in. And this is the second album that Scran as a group have produced. So the first one was called Nain, which means one in Manx. So understandably, this one is called Jees, which means two in Manx. And there's highlights on here as described on the PR, which I think is brilliant, include a harp duet celebrating Archibald Knox, an imaginative twist to Cur the Vanya, which is an old Manx Gaelic milking song, and exciting modern compositions such as The Road to Derby and Red na Folium. In complete contrast, the mandolin trio has a lot of fun with the Tetris computer game theme, which I think is just awesome. So anyway, I've chosen two tunes to play for you, which I think give you an idea of the variety of music on Scran's new album. So the first one is called Ilium, and it does have some vocal singing in it as well. And then we've got the Rad na Folium, as we just mentioned there. We've got that one. But in the middle, you will hear the aforementioned Ruth Keggin. She's back telling us all about an exciting songwriting opportunity.
songwriter? Are you curious to know what your songs would sound like in Manx? Well, here's your chance. On the morning of Saturday the 4th of November from 10 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. there'll be a drop-in lyrics workshop at the George in Castletown as part of the Cooish Manx Language Festival. The event is aimed at giving one-to-one help to songwriters of any genre who may be thinking about entering the Aren Son Manan competition. This competition, which means a song for man, is an opportunity for the performance of new and original music written in Manx Gaelic, with the winner representing the Isle of Man at the annual Pan-Celtic Festival in Ireland at Easter time. If you have a song in mind, come and see Bob Carswell for some friendly expert advice. Just bring your English lyrics along and he'll begin to workshop them into Manx along with you. The event is free, but if you have any questions or if you'd like to register your interest in working with Bob, just drop me, Ruth Keggin, a line to manxlanguage@culturevannon.im. Hope to see you on Saturday the 4th of November. There'll be loads going on in Castletown that day. For more info about the Cooish, head to www.learnmanx.com/Cooish, which is spelt Cooish. Himshu. See you.
the only son, the foolish one. Has it brought you to your knees? set to make your mark. Your younger heart never seemed to bleed. I wanna hide away. I wanna hide away. I wanna hide away. Never come back no more. Gentle Mark, your only son, packed up and moved away. But it won't be long till he's at your door, begging for your change. I wanna hide away. I wanna hide away. I wanna hide away. Never come back no more. Father's gone, what would he have done? He never had much to say. Only son, pray your little ones never learn your ways. I wanna hide away. I wanna hide away. I wanna hide away. Never come back no more. I wanna hide away. I wanna hide away. I wanna hide away. Never come back no more. Never come back no more. Never come back no more.
The unmistakable, I think, vocal of Davy Knowles. That is The Only Son, which was the first single released from his new album, which is called If I Should Wander. And it's a really special album to Davy, this one. He describes it as being liberating, says, I feel a little weight leaving me as I let these songs go. It is a beautiful thing. It's definitely worth checking out. And it's now out on vinyl as well. And I played that straight on the back of two new songs from the Scran album, Geese, which means two in Manx. Some of the island's most talented young musicians, all under 18. And very talented they are too. Just to give them a bit of a shout out, you've got Arabella on harp, Frank on fiddle, Jack on piano accordion, Kinley on mandolin, Lucy on harp, Lucas on mandolin and fiddle, Maeve on fiddle and voice, Neve on fiddle, Paul on acoustic guitar, Paul Rogers tutor, and Rue on whistle. So well done to all of them. So for an excellent album. It's on Bandcamp. If you go to culturevannon.bandcamp.com, or if you drop Culturevannon an email, I'm sure they'll be able to get you a CD copy as well. It's only £10, so it's well worth that. And Scran are actually auditioning for new members soon. As I mentioned, of course, as soon as they get to 18, they're took down. So any teenage musicians interested in joining, get in touch with Dr. Chloe Woolley, who is the Manx Music Development Officer for Culture Vannon. So just go to culturevannon.im. You'll find all the details there. And in the middle of that, thanks to Ruth again, Gurumaya Ruth, for the information about the songwriting contest for the Cooish.
Saturday Live Lounge, supported by Villa Gaiety. Keep up to date with the island's premier entertainment venue by following us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.